I've reviewed quite a number of Eastman guitars over the past few years, and they've all been pretty impressive. Now, when I first picked one up back in about 2011, I knew nothing of the company, but the instrument immediately felt like something built in the 1950s. Now, like almost everyone else at the time, I thought guitars made in China all came from big automated factories that used assembly line workers to crank them out by the thousands. Now, of course, Eastman is the opposite of that. The instrument's being built by a team of skilled luthiers and craftsmen. Now, to this day, the company continues to use primarily hand tools and traditional luthery techniques, not CNC machines and automated production. It's described as being essentially run like a 19th century violin workshop, with bandsaws for rough cuts being about their only concession to modern building methods. Now, of course, the company began as a builder of orchestral instruments. So I suppose it's not surprising that when they decided to build guitars, it was initially jazz archtops. And later they began introducing Gibson-style electrics, including solid bodies. Then some really nice original designs, such as the Romeo and Juliet. And just last year, the company launched their very distinctive take on the Fender formula with the Fullertone guitars, one of which is the subject of today's video, the Fullertone SC52. You know, it's funny how some guitars look so much better in person than in photos. This is a very cleanly executed instrument that draws inspiration from the famous guitars from California while giving us something new. Now, whether you love them or hate them, I think Eastman deserves a ton of credit for getting the Fender vibe across without making straight-up copies like almost every other company that makes Fender-style instruments. Now, while the shape won't be for everyone, it shares a family resemblance to all of the Eastmans designed by luthier Otto D'Ambrosio, like the Romeo and Juliet models I mentioned. I wasn't sure myself at first, but now that it's here, I'm finding I like it a lot. Now, this body is made up of roasted black limba, otherwise known as black Corinna. It's known to be fairly light and quite resonant, which certainly seems to be the case here. This one comes in at only about 6.8 pounds. Now, the neck is roasted maple, and they're calling the profile medium round. It actually feels pretty substantial in the hand, and like many Eastmans, fairly wide as well. Both are characteristics I enjoy. Neck depth at the first fret is about 0.88 inch, or 21.8 millimeters, and at the 12th, 1.02 inch, or about 25.9 millimeters. A thick but very comfortable feeling neck. And the 24 Jescar frets are beautifully dressed, and the playability is excellent. one of the more interesting features of this design is D'Ambrosio's Fullertone neck joint. It uses a 2-bolt system, and unlike fenders and the majority of fender copies, they are actual bolts, not screws. Now, the neck has threaded inserts for the bolts, and it's seated in a rounded pocket that perfectly matches the neck profile with an additional long tenon going into the body like a set neck. Now, all of these parts are carefully fitted, creating what has to be one of the firmest bolt-on neck joints I can imagine. Now, I'm not going to take this apart to show you, but take a look at this photo for a better idea. Impressive, given they could have just slapped a standard Fender-style neck joint on it and called it a day. Then there's this headstock design, which I find absolutely beautiful. At first I thought the raised area was carved in or routed, but it appears to be an overlay, which gives just enough contrast. You'll notice it's a mild tilt back, yet there appears to be no scarf joint. In addition, the tuners have staggered posts, which further provide the perfect break angle over the nut. Now, these pickups are by Tone Rider. I'd never tried Tone Rider pickups, but they sound quite nice, so I did a little research. Now, Tone Rider is a Chinese company that builds boutique-style scatter-wound pickups, sourcing materials from several countries, including wire from the U.S. and fiberboard from Japan. The neck pickup is their soap bar humbucker with a custom gold foil cover, and the bridge is a staggered, noiseless single coil. Now, there are a couple of other models in the series, the more Strat-inspired DC62 and the new Jazzmaster-inspired Offset 62. Now, having the same body and neck design, none of them look anything like their inspiration, but they all function similar to the models they loosely emulate. Now, for those of you who are new here, I should mention that no one has ever sponsored a video of mine. I bought this one new for review, but I found this to be a thoroughly professional instrument, which at this level of quality, I'd call a steal at $999. Now, these may or may not catch on, but if not, it won't be because they aren't great instruments. Well, as always, I really appreciate you joining me today. And by the way, I wanted to show you this cool new mug. Check it out. Came out pretty nice, I think. And you can pick up your very own over at patreon.com/LeonardGriffeyBlues. And you don't even have to be a member. So pop on over and order one. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so now. It doesn't cost a thing and helps the channel grow. Now, every little bit of support I can get is hugely appreciated and helps me to keep this train rolling. And with that, I'll say goodbye for now, and I will see you again very soon.